And now I want to talk about why do I have three views of the same thing? Actually, four if we look at the original. And this is where I wanted to mention interdimensional physics to you. What is interdimensional physics? Interdimensional physics is, in my view, looking at the different layers of light of something or in a space. Technically, when you get into interdimensional physics, there wouldn't really be a location. There would be no time and there would be no location. Because any particular space would theoretically hold all of the dimensions available would be in that space, would all be in the same space. Back to why that's important for this photograph. In my view, what these photos represent is looking at the same spot in the sky, about the same spot in the sky, at different layers and levels of light. That is what I've tried to do by doing the light editing in the photograph. Yes, it reveals what is hidden, but in my view, it has also revealed what is hidden in different layers of light. And that is why the same image has come out looking three different ways. So there is an interdimensional aspect to the way we are looking at this. And this is so exciting in my view, and it's so awesome and so cool. Because we have a visual evidence of interdimensionality. And the fact that you can look at the same spot in the sky and look into different layers of the light and the light density in that sky and see three different things, or four if we include what our eyes are visually seeing, right? Because we have what our eyes are visually seeing, and then we have what is beyond our eyesight, but that can still be revealed by looking at different light layers. And this is why I feel that interdimensional physics is kind of going to be the new area of physics that is very exciting, and where a lot of sort of cutting edge science and technology is going to be created and will occur. And the fascinating thing about interdimensional physics, and we do have an example here, potentially, of some sort of physical craft that is interdimensionally being hidden in the sky. I believe, if I had to nail it down, I would say this is a fourth dimensional object and fourth dimensional technology. And I have many articles on my website where I talk about how I define the fourth dimension. And I won't go into that now to keep this brief. But there's also layers within the dimensions, right? Layers within the third dimension, within the fourth dimension. And I believe that this is what we're seeing here. And so we have potentially a physical object that's now cloaked interdimensionally, and we're seeing it with our eyes. We're seeing the evidence of it, and I just want to celebrate that with you, because I think it's pretty amazing. So let's look at this illustrated, the interdimensionality of what is about the same image. So we're looking at the ship, what I'm theorizing is a secret space program craft. And we're looking at the four different ways that it appeared in the sky once I was able to edit the original screenshots for lighting. And these images occurred over 2 minutes. So during that 2 minutes, I took 3 different screenshots over the course of that time, and then did the light editing on them. And then, of course, there's the original. So I just wanted to show you the original so you can see it. Hold on one sec. Here it is. There it is right there. Okay, so clearly you can see actually the craft is right here in this image. And this is the original that revealed the geometric pattern. You can see that it's very difficult to see anything here with your eyes. There are some, lines in the clouds, but you can't see without the editing for lighting. You cannot see it very well. Make it a little bigger. Yeah, it's actually okay. Now, I don't know how the quality will be on YouTube, but I can actually see it with my eyes on my computer. But it's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 right here. So those are those 3 sides that we've been looking at and that have shown in the light edited images, and it's right there. Okay, so that's one version. Let's look at the others. Okay, here's the others. So that is what I just showed you when I edited it for lighting and took the color out to pop the geometry. Now, I had been showing you this photo here, and I realized that I had talked about in a couple of the videos that the sun caught, the cloud bank caught the light, just happened to catch the light of the sunrise. The sunrise is behind me in this photo. But what I realized after I went searching, I actually searched for the first photo that I took in this before I even started videoing of the sky. And what I found was that it wasn't the cloud bank, I don't think, that was catching the lighting. It was actually the cloak caught the lighting, because what I found was that there was a lighted spot that was a very faded and pale geometry. I think I pointed this out in the last video 7, and I said I would look at it, investigate it, and I did. And what I found was there was a light geometry here. This is not the same screenshot as this, but you can see the craft clearer in this light edited image to the right. To the left, you can see the craft is harder to see, but you can still see the same shape. But I sort of drew back a little bit, and then for sure you could see the what appears to be the cloak around it. So cool. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that. So this is the interdimensionality. Here's one take on it, another take on the same. We're looking at about the same spot in the sky, and I believe these are all the same craft or vehicle. And then you've got this shape here, and then you have the cloak around it there. Okay, so what we're doing here, in my view, is we're catching the light at different layers of density. So I'm going to show you this photo here, this image here. I drew this hand drawing to illustrate this. So here's the same image. It's taken at slightly different times by either a few minutes, meaning probably 5 minutes or under, or a few seconds apart. In the original, number 1, it was not visible really to the eyes. After having found it, I could go back knowing what I was looking for. Number 2, the shape of the craft with seeming to have arms was visible, and then part of the cloak edge was visible, but this part wasn't. I don't know if that's because of how the sky was formed or the cloud bank, how the thickness of it or what. Okay, the third photo, I was able to catch the oblongs. It's sort of an elongated pentagram, as we talked about in the videos. And then I was also still able to catch the edge. And I think that's what it was. Somehow the sunlight lit this edge and the cloud bank hid the back of it. However, in the very first photo, this is number 4, the very first photo I had taken before I started videoing, I guess the sun and this craft may have been in a slightly different position in the sky, and I was actually able to catch the whole geometry. So this is the interdimensionality illustrated of the story that we've just been discussing. It's 4 different views into 4 different layers of light of the same object in the sky. And it looks like the cloak and the cloaking technology is revealed, comes across slightly differently depending on which dimensional layer that we're looking at. And in fact, there was a couple dark, almost triangle shapes inside the geometry. And what I wondered is if that sort of was meant to, that encompasses the front and the rear of the craft, the front and the rear. And it kind of makes sense because you've got a triangle point here. The craft seemed to have a nose point. And then in one of the images, I felt that there might be a pentagram type shape in this space. And you do have an elongated pentagram here, which is reminiscent of this image. So I thought this was pretty cool, and I thought I would do a hand drawing to illustrate it for you guys. And it's stunning, really. So I'd love to keep in touch with you through my email list, where I publish a monthly list of all of my content so that you can find it all in one place. And when I start offering courses, that is how I will let you know as well. And with social media being somewhat spotty in terms of notifications and that, being on the mailing list is the surefire way to stay in contact. I really appreciate you spending time here with me today and talking about interdimensionality.